everyone. Dr. Frankie Bashan here. Hope everybody's doing well no matter where you are in the world. And if it's morning, I wish you a very beautiful day. In the evening, I hope you have wonderful rest and restorative sleep. Oh my gosh, last night I had no restorative sleep. I have a cat that is just very active at night these days. I don't know. I think he's turning 12. And some of you might see him in the background occasionally, but geez, walking all over me, stepping on my head last night, smacking the blinds, banging against the window. So hopefully you'll have better sleep than me. And yeah, but these creatures, these animals, I love them no matter what. And even when they make my life harder, I definitely keep them around. They're full of love, and they just bring me lots of laughter, even in the midst of misery sometimes. All right. So, for those of you that are new to my channel, I am a clinical psychologist with over 2 decades of experience, and also a matchmaker, CEO of Little Gay Book Matchmaking, which is a national LGBTQ plus matchmaking firm that's been around now for 17 years. Can you believe that? I can't believe it. Where has the time gone? And I'm also a board certified sex therapist. So I'm here with you all to basically share all the knowledge, education, lived experience that I have had. And hopefully you get something out of it, even if it's a few nuggets of information that help you navigate your life more successfully. The goal is to have deeper relationships, to feel safer in relationship, and to be able to take accountability. Also, there's a lot of that. I talk a lot about how to take responsibility, what's our part, how to regulate ourselves, the science behind, the physiology, the biology and science behind a lot of what happens around trauma, early childhood attachments, things like that. So much of what I talk about is backed by science and theory. And of course, lived experience is so important too. So I've lived my own life and have incorporated a lot of the things that I've learned in my training since I was in my early 20s in Berkeley. I went to a really great small school for my doctorate in clinical psychology. And that basically put me on a path of deeper curiosity and learning about human behavior. And today I'm an expert in the field. And there's a lot of armchair therapists out there on TikTok and YouTube and all the other social media platforms that are spouting lots that isn't accurate, that isn't backed by science. So hopefully you can come here and feel like you're learning information and, gaining knowledge that actually has been studied, researched, empirically validated, and helpful to you in your life. So let's jump in. The number one threat to your relationship. There's one silent killer in relationships that too many couples overlook: emotional disconnection. It can feel impossible to figure out how to come back together when you realize you feel 1,000 miles away from your partner. And it's a very different kind of grief and sadness that can, open conflict. But emotional disconnection doesn't have to be your new normal. Here's what I recommend about how to come back together: why your relationship is feeling distant or off. Sometimes we find ourselves looking at our partner of many years and feeling like we barely even know each other. A sense of ennui, an alienation, or disconnection that can be scary and demoralizing. We may compare them or our relationship to what things were like in the heady early days of a new relationship energy, how alive, connected, and emotionally intimate we felt. And at the same time, we may feel like we must be in the wrong. After all, nothing has materially changed about our relationship. They haven't betrayed our trust or put us through a major conflict. So then, what has changed? If you've ever felt this way, you may have experienced the effects of emotional disconnection in a relationship. Many have. It's not uncommon. It's often not the result of a singular issue or conflict, but the result of a cumulative buildup of small failures to fully connect or enact intimacy over time. It also likely isn't one person's fault or something you did wrong, but it can be incredibly painful. It's also very common, and it's a big part of the reason people often talk about needing to spice things up or bring magic back to their relationship a few years in. What does emotional disconnection look like? A relationship experiencing emotional disconnection might look like living in the house like roommates, rarely spending quality time together or having intentional conversations, either not having sex or having perfunctory sex that looks the same each time and isn't fully satisfying, small arguments or frequent topics of bickering that cause resentment that seem disproportional to the subject at hand, a total or new lack of conflict. It doesn't feel worth bringing up issues, lack of interest in each other's interests, hobbies, or friend groups, feeling ignored or unimportant to your partner, alternatively, feeling irritation or frustration with your partner when they want your attention, low levels of emotional intimacy and sharing, with most discussion focused on external details rather than how you feel about them. Often, we and others assume that if we aren't fighting or experiencing high conflict in our relationships, then it must be going well. But a quiet, functional relationship where you nonetheless feel more and more distant from your partner each day can be a worse sign than having a fight. Because in fights, arguments, you're alive, you're engaging, right? But in this example, it's more like you're both just like two ships sailing in the night. Definitely something to evaluate and consider. In fact, a reduction in conflict can sometimes be a cause for concern. Initiating conflict in a healthy relationship is an action you take out of a desire to improve the relationship and make sure it stays healthy by resolving any problems that come up. If you or your partner have given up on raising issues when you feel anger, hurt, or resentment, it may indicate a lack of confidence that those issues can be resolved at all, or a low level of investment in making the relationship as healthy as it can be. How can you work on emotionally reconnecting? If any of these sound familiar, all hope isn't lost. While emotional connection can slip away from us when we don't intentionally maintain it, bringing back a level of care and commitment to our emotional connection can really help us see whether it can be rekindled. To work on emotionally reconnecting with your partner after a period of distance or disconnection, make an extra effort to respond to your partner's bids. If they send you a meme during the workday, make time to respond to it. If they're excited about a rare species of bird they see in the backyard, resist the impulse to roll your eyes and instead ask them to tell you more about it. We're constantly making macro bids for the attention and care of people around us. When they go ignored, disconnection grows. When we turn toward our partner for small bids, it shores up our connection in a big way. Be willing to get vulnerable. When we feel distant from our partner, it's often the last time we want to share something sensitive or difficult, even if it's not about our relationship. But vulnerability is a two-way street, and someone needs to initiate if there's going to be a new dynamic. When we share something intimate, it brings us closer together and invites the other person to do so too. So even if you aren't feeling the closest with your partner right now, make the effort to open up about the problems you're having at work or your fears about your sister's wedding and invite your partner in to do the same. Renegotiate your relationship to conflict. Despite what you may assume, conflict is often a sign of a healthy relationship. If you're feeling distant from your partner, it may be in part because you've allowed unspoken resentments to build up between you instead of addressing them directly. Are there any long held issues you know are lingering? Or are you holding in concerns that are coming up in the moment? Do your relationship a favor and bring up what's been bothering you. It will serve you and your relationship big time. Any thoughts, reactions, responses, please post them below. I love to read your comments. I love to continue the conversation. And I will see you all next week. Kisses, hugs, take really good care of yourselves, and see you then.